What's happening, everybody? Steve here, raking profit, getting the camera set up here. And I literally just left Goodwill, and it's raining out a little bit, so I'm in the parking lot. This is my beautiful tripod right here. And I really did feel like today I was wasting my time at the thrift store. I went in there, I spent probably 30 minutes, and I found nothing. I came up empty-handed. I completely wasted my time, I felt like. And I want to make this video kind of sharing some thoughts around what you should do and the mindset. And I'm going to give you, I've got a whole list. I've got about 10 actionable things that you can do if you're in that situation. Like, let me know in the comments right now, who recently has gone to a thrift store and you felt like you wasted your time? What's up, Katie Reeds? Loved your video with your man the other day. You guys crushed it. Who here has gone into a thrift store and you just feel like I'm wasting my time? Like, what's going on here? There's a lot of competitors. I don't find any inventory. The place is a mess. Like, I just spent 30, 60 minutes and I wasted my freaking time. And sometimes, you know, it's easy to get pissed off. Who here has ever gotten pissed off? You're excited, you're pumped up, you just watched some YouTube videos, or maybe you're starting to sell listings and you're like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna find some stuff, okay? And you leave empty-handed. What do you do when you feel like you're wasting time? So let me dive right into it, okay? And this video is gonna help you. It's gonna help you to overcome all the BS that goes in our mind when we feel like we're wasting our time. Because at the end of the day, it's never a waste of time to go into a thrift store. There's so much money to be made at thrift stores. Yes, the prices are getting higher. Yes, there's more competition. But let's be honest, most of the competitors are idiots. Most of the competitors are going to quit. So that's not a big problem, right? But how do you overcome this? How do you deal with this? Because there's a lot of money to be made at thrift stores. I don't care where you live. There's money to be made. So let's cover some things. First and foremost, you know, you've got to understand that you're not going to hit a home run every single time you go to a thrift store. It doesn't matter what business you're in, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what you're selling. You could be on eBay, Amazon. There's always going to be ups and downs. There's going to be wins and losses. I've talked about this in other videos. You know, the winners are the ones who could deal with adversity the best. So let's come to that understanding first and foremost. You're not going to score every single time. Now, obviously, the more you go, the more knowledge you have, and I'm going to discuss this in these 10 points, the better chance you're going to have of leaving with something profitable. But let's get into it. First thing to keep in mind, if you feel like you're wasting your time, is maybe you want to look into what days and times you go. Yes, the days and times that you go can make a huge difference. Right now, it's Sunday. Why'd I go on Sunday? Because over the last couple months, I've been doing really well on Sundays. But every now and then, you can go on a day or a time that you do very, very well, and you might strike out. It just is what it is. Maybe, you know, for example, at Savers and Goodwill, I know I didn't see the person who puts out inventory at the store. I usually peek in the back room, see if they're there. If they're not there, there's a good chance maybe they left early or they never came in to put out inventory. But start getting acquainted with what days and times are the best. Let me know right now in the comments for the people who are watching. Looks like we got 60 people live. What is your favorite day to go thrifting? Is there a specific day? Is there a specific day that you like to go to the thrift stores? I can tell you one of the days I don't like to go to the thrift stores, and that's Mondays. Mondays tend to be the worst day for me all across the board at thrift stores. Now, are there some times where I hit a home run on a Monday? Yes. Maybe somebody came in. Maybe the manager made someone come in. I don't know. For whatever reason, you scored. I don't do really well on Mondays. I like middle of the week. I've been doing really well on Sundays lately. In terms of the times, I don't like to come first thing in the morning, and I don't like to come at the end of the night. Usually, you know, a couple hours after they open up tends to be the best for me. But there's been times I've come to Goodwill 30 minutes before they close and hit a jackpot home run. I don't know. Maybe somebody came and put out inventory an hour before. I don't know why. But let me know. A lot of people are saying Wednesdays. Bonnie Riley is saying Mondays at Savers and Thursday. So assess the times and the days you're going, right? Something you can do, and I had my mom do this a couple of years ago, helped her out a lot. Get yourself a little tiny little notepad, just a little tiny one that you could stick in your pocket, and put it in your glove compartment or in your center console. And when you visit a thrift store, maybe you have 5 thrift stores that you visit regularly, write down the days and the times that you go. And then after you leave, write down a little note. Maybe you can have a scoring system, 1 through 10. 1 means it sucked, 10 means you crushed it. And just put a little number next to it. And you'll start to see patterns of what days and times are best. And then start to look around. around and start to ask yourself, maybe why did I do so well? Oh, maybe I saw Shirley over there. I don't know who's named Shirley anymore, but what's up, Shirley? Oh, John was over there. I saw John working in the back room. So maybe you've got to associate when John and Shirley are there, inventory is coming out. So that's first thing. Number two, no one wants to hear this, but it's true. There's luck. There is luck involved. Now, this isn't anything actionable that you can really do, but this could help your mindset to understand. Doesn't matter how much you've been studying the sold listings, how much you've been watching Rake and Profit, what sold videos and studying the sold listings videos. It doesn't matter, how much you've learned. Sometimes you're just going to strike out based on luck. What type of luck? Well, maybe you're just unlucky because they didn't have much good inventory donated. Maybe John and Shirley didn't show up to work because they were drinking the night before. Maybe the competition hit it right before you. Maybe Katie Reed's came where their man crushed the book section. Now you're going to go home starving to death. So luck definitely, comes into play. The third thing to keep in mind, if you feel like you're wasting your time at thrift stores, is you just got to understand, like, luck is something that's real. But if you want to get lucky, you got to take a shot. Right, Wayne Gretzky had a quote or something. You can't score unless you take the shot. And the people who get luckiest are the ones who go and they take the most shots. Right, they show up to the thrift store. Right, we got Terrence Fisher in the house who said, you know what? I might have showed up to Goodwill and didn't find anything, but I'm coming for the next 3 days and I'm going to take money from you and I'm putting food on my plate. We got Day saying, Steve made my day and say hi. What's going on? What's going on, brother? So you're going to go more consistently, you're going to get luckier, right? And Terrence says, I think skill is involved too. Skill is absolutely involved, and that's actually going to extend out to point number 4. Luck comes into play, consistency comes into play, but guess what comes into play? Number 3, it's skill. And if you want to find more items, expand the catalog that you're going after, right? Expand from just books and take a look at toys, take a look at clothing, take a look at the glassware, right? You don't have to be a master of glassware, right? I can't tell the difference between my ass and my elbow when it comes to glassware, but I know about some of the low-hanging fruit, right? 1 through 10, how skilled am I with glassware? If you see my videos, I'm probably a 2, but I could pick up some of the crumbs, right? Or maybe I get lucky and they put out a bunch of stuff. So expand out into different items. Learn the top 10% of clothing, of glassware, of toys, of board games, so on and so forth. Expand into different categories. If you're only selling on eBay, you're leaving a lot of money on the table because there's books and there's board games and there's specific items that you're not going to be able to sell very well on eBay, right? Expand your ability to sell more by, getting ungated in DVDs or in certain toy brands, right? I'm able to find a lot of money at thrift stores because I'm ungated in DVDs when others aren't. And Katie Reed's dropping to $3.99 super chat. Appreciate you. That'll buy me a DVD when I go to Savers after this. But just expand, right? Expand your knowledge, expand what you're able to sell, expand your platforms. The more you expand, the better opportunity you're going to have, even if the competition's there, or maybe even if, there wasn't a lot of inventory out. The more you know, the more you could grow, the more money you can make. Number 5, and this is a big thing right here, okay? A lot of people, let me know if you guys agree with this or not, but this is for me. I can only speak from my experiences, but have you ever been in like a negative mood, right? There's been times in the past where I've gone to thrift stores and I see the competition walking out with a bunch of books, or I'm going to thrift stores over the last couple of weeks and the prices keep going up. I'm in a negative mindset. I've got these lenses on and I'm thinking, oh, the prices are going up. There's too much competition. Who here has ever been in that situation, right? Where you're seeing everything so negative. You're like, God damn it, Rake and Profit. Another freaking video where you're going to expose an item. Screw you, right? Who's ever been in that situation before? If you are looking at the world through that lens, and this isn't some Tony Robbins stuff, but if you're very, very negative about it, when you go into a thrift store, or when I go into a thrift store, I don't look behind, I don't search, right? I don't go through all the clothing. I don't dive behind the board games looking for, the hidden board game. I'm not flipping through all the inventory. Why? Because I'm negative. Oh, the competition's already there. The prices are too high. F it. There's not enough opportunity here. You don't go that extra mile. You don't look through that extra clothing rack. You don't look behind the VHSs and see the hidden DVD box set that was just put out, right? You're not you're looking at things so negative that you're not taking the positive steps to get lucky. So having a positive mindset, as much as it's like voodoo, woohoo, whatever, like Tony Robbins, like that's not real. I'm telling you, having a positive mindset when you go into a thrift store can make all the difference in the world, because it's going to allow you to take that extra step. It's going to allow you to look around and not, have you overlook the good stuff. Like JMCX is saying, we got Kevin Hawthorne in the house. What's going on, my man? Great to see you. All right, let's dive into number 6. So you're saying to yourself, I'm sick and tired of wasting my time at the thrift stores. I'm sick of it. It's a waste of time. Looking at my clock and I'm not making any money. Okay, I know my time's worth more than $0 an hour. Well, one thing you got to understand is competition varies. Sometimes, and I talked about it before, you're just going to be at the wrong place, or maybe the right place at the wrong time. You're at the right place, you're at Goodwill, but the competition hit it before you, right? There's some big fish out there, and a lot of you guys might not realize it, but there's some big players who live in your area who are selling on eBay and Amazon. They might be, down low. You might not know them. They probably don't have a YouTube channel, but there's competitors out there who are probably smarter than you, and there's probably some teenagers out there who are working harder than you. It is what it is. All because you come up empty-handed doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you don't have skills. It doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. It doesn't mean this is going to always be the future. It's so easy to look at things negative. You just got to understand, sometimes there's competitors out there, and just like if you take a look at sneaker brands, right? How many sneaker brands are out there? How many? I don't know, hundreds of them. There's enough room for everybody to grab a piece of the pie. And as a reseller, the more knowledge you have, the more categories you're able to, sell, the more knowledge you have of different products, the more consistent you go. You know what? The competition, screw the competition. The competition means nothing. The only competition is between you and who you see in the mirror. Yes, competition is going to play a role on a day-to-day basis, but you want to know what? It's kind of like gaining weight, right? Maybe you're gaining a lot of weight lately. You're feeling like crap. Eating that one donut's not going to kill you. Eating that one donut's not going to put 10 pounds on you. It's those small little decisions over the long haul. So who cares that you went into Goodwill or you went into Savers and you didn't find anything? That's not going to ruin your business. But if you allow that competition, that negative mindset to stop you, you stop going, you stop learning, you stop being consistent. And sometimes you could go 5 times and your hourly rate's only $11 an hour, but then you find a home run where you make $1,000 and it jumps it up to $30 an hour, right? I'm just throwing out examples. So I just want to touch on that with the competition. Number 7, and this is a good tip if you feel like you're wasting your time. This is something I've done before, which has helped out, and it's to take a look in the back room. And this is a 2-part. This is going to be tip number 7 and 8. Tip number 7 is peek through the back room. So what I'll do at Savers is I'll just kind of look through the window like a little rake and profit creep, and I'll be creeping through, looking around to see, are there a bunch of like new bins that are going to be coming out? Are there employees prepping a bunch of items and looking them up and researching them and, pricing them and stuff? Because if so, I'm going to do one of 2 things. Number 1, sometimes at Goodwill, there's a bathroom. So I'll walk back there, I'll use the bathroom, and then I'll say, hey, I'm actually interested in this stuff. Sorry to bother you. You're going to be bringing this out soon? Sometimes you can score like that. Another way is to actually ask for backroom access. So in my area over here, they're not letting me do it, but my good friend Avery, Romer the Roamer, he scores a ton of books by asking for backroom access. So depending on where you live, what does that mean? You say, hey, how you doing? Hopefully you have a relationship built with the manager or something. You said, hey, is it okay if I go in back and scan all the books before you take them out? I'm a big book buyer. I have a business. I'm not going to go deep into that. We've talked about it before, but sometimes you get backroom access and they'll let you scan everything in the back before it comes out. So check that, check out your local areas, build relationships with your managers, and sometimes they'll let you do that. Number 9, look for new inventory only. Okay, so I wrote these crazy notes down. What do I mean by look for new inventory only? Let me ask you guys a question. So type a yes or a no in the comments. Do your thrift stores, do they put their inventory out based on a color system? Yes or no? So mine, they do. It's a color system. At Savers, they circle through like 5 colors. At Goodwill, they circle through 5 colors. So Kevin's saying yes, the Hillbilly Hipster saying no, Patricia no, Judy no. Wow, really? I thought that was everywhere. I know at Savers, at all the Savers, they have a color system. You might not know it, but each tag has a different color. I'm surprised that a lot of places don't have a color system. How do they cycle through the inventory and know what's new and what's old? Because all the thrift stores do it for the most part. I would say 90% of them, especially the Goodwills and the Savers, they all have different color tags. They don't all have half off a specific color, but every thrift store is going to have some type of system, right? It might not even be a color. It could be a number. It could be a SKU. Let me know if not. The places I go, they all have that. What most people do is when they go into a thrift store, they're looking for the oldest color because it's half off. So say blue was the newest color 5 weeks ago. After 5 weeks, they're going to cycle it and they're going to make everything that's blue 50% off. I don't look for the oldest color that's 50% off. Why? I don't care about 50% off. Why? Because that inventory has been sitting for 5 weeks and all the resellers have already gone through it. Could I find something 50% off that's worth my money? Yes. But why am I going to spend my time searching after the junk that the vultures have already gone crazy on and just left it behind versus only looking for the new inventory? So what I'll do is I'll look for the newest color that comes out and I'll just be blind to everything else and I'll just look for the new color. Okay, so when I'm going through the books, I'm not scanning every single book. I'm just looking for the new color. And with the books, they usually go in a specific area. With the clothes, they're usually on the end rack. So I'm looking for inventory that is new based on the color. If you don't have color systems, you might have to look based on the SKUs or maybe just look based on the positioning of the inventory. Get very acquainted with how your thrift store is putting out the inventory. What's their SKU system? How do they cycle through new and old inventory? You should have a conversation. That's why I always say build rapport, build relationships with the managers and the employees at these thrift stores, because you can start to learn about how they're dealing with, dealing with the inventory. Tom is saying, stop telling everyone my thrifting secrets. Man, I'll tell you right now, I'm exposing it all. The truth is, guys, like I said before, if you're consistent, if you go on a regular basis, 99% of people, they're just going to give up and quit. So don't let that hold you back. And number 10, this is something interesting that I do sometimes. And let me know if you agree or disagree with me. But I'm always looking at my ROI, my return on investment. I'm looking at the return on my time that I invest in a thrift store. So let me ask you a question. If you go into a thrift store and you notice that it's a disaster, you go to the book section, it looks like a tornado has gone through it. You go through the clothing, because what I do is when I walk in a thrift store, I circle it really quick. I do a quick little 2-minute circle, or I just kind of, when I'm walking to my destination, I'm looking to see, okay, wow, those are some plump, those are some plump clothing racks. Wow, there's a lot of new inventory over there in the DVDs. I'm looking, I'm scanning. Oh, wow, the book section looks clean. If I see a nice, clean, neat, heavily stocked thrift store, I'm already starting to say to myself, all right, the ROI potential is here. Versus if I go into a thrift store and the clothing section is not plump, it's empty, it's dry, the DVDs are a mess, the books are destroyed, crap thrown all over the place, I'm already starting to think in my mind, the ROI potential is lower. Do you guys agree with that or disagree? And one of the things I'm always, and I said it before, I'm always trying to ask myself the question, is this the best use of my time? Is this the best use of my time? I found from experience, the messier and more destroyed the place is, the less profitable inventory I'm going to find. Whereas if it's clean, it's organized, because let's be honest. Can I be honest for a second? I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but you goddamn resellers are slobs. You guys throw things around. You don't put the books back. You're flying through things. And guess what? I'm a slob too sometimes. I try to be, ethical, and I try to put things back, but if I'm going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I'm the cleanest reseller, it's a bunch of BS. We're slobs. We're freaking slobs. And, the messier a place is, and I'm not saying it's all of us, but a lot of times when a place is a mess, it's because of resellers. There's also, the toy section. It's usually the kids and stuff. And, these places are getting more popular. Keith says, no, I'm military. Most non-sloppy person I know. Keith, we got to get you on the YouTube channel. Teach me how to not be a slob. But in all honesty, I try to be respectful. But, the messier it is, a lot of times I'm thinking, you know what? I'm just going to do a quick round. So what I'll do is I'll sample each section. What do I mean by that? So I'll go into the book section. Instead of spending an hour scanning it all, I'll sample, how do I say it? It's kind of like, not a split test, but it's like It's like, I guess the best way to say it is a sample. I don't know the best words. I'll go in and I'll sample. I'll scan 20 books, okay? I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any books with potential. I think someone's come up through here and knocked this place out. I'll go sample the toy section. I'll go sample the clothing section, looking at the outside of the racks. I'll do a quick sample. So instead of spending an hour, 2 hours in a thrift store to waste my time on a low ROI opportunity, I'll go do a quick 20-minute sample. Oh, okay, maybe there's a better return on investment by just going to another thrift store. So watch this video twice, because I know I'm talking very, very quickly, but that last point that I said has made a huge impact in my business. Sample a thrift store before investing all your time in it. As a reseller, you've got to learn to leverage your time. And sourcing is going to take up a lot of your time if you're thrifting, going to garage sales, auctions, but we're talking about thrift stores. Flip the Thrift says, I'm a neat freak, but seriously, the booksellers in my area sabotage the books and leave it a total mess. You see, I know I'm the one saying this, but I'm just sharing what I see. Sandy, I just did a flea market yesterday. I did really good. I know that has many factors, but I did good. That's cool, Sandy. Where did you get the inventory to sell at the flea market? Keith says, you have to be organized, Steve. How else can you do all this content and stuff? I know. I'm being entertaining, Keith. I'm pretty organized for the most part. But definitely an area that I think we could all improve in, unless you're in the military. So that's pretty much all I got. If you guys have questions, ask away right now. I'm literally just sitting in front of my Goodwill watching all these suckers go in because there's nothing left in there. No, there could be opportunities, but maybe I just didn't see them. Tom says, I pay thrift store manager a commission to set things back. I just go by a store and pick up a couple of boxes. God damn it, Tom. I hope you're not in Connecticut. Yeah, a lot of people play by the rules when it comes to thrifting, but there's a lot of people who don't play by the rules. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not saying Tom doesn't play by the rules, but when I think of playing by the rules, it's, show up to the thrift store, mind your business, and just find inventory. There's a lot of people who they're building relationships, they're getting items set aside. Even employees are doing it, unfortunately. Building relationships, backroom access. You can also buy pallets of media and books from these thrift stores. A lot of people don't talk about this. Dace says, make friends to make money. I agree. Terrence says, I think they should fix a time when they put out new inventory. Yeah, you never know. There's always inventory coming out at all times at these thrift stores. You never know. That's why I always like to peek in the back. If you guys are getting value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, show some love if you want me to do more of these live videos. By the way, did anybody see my video the other day where I said everything was falling apart? Well, 2 days later, I did everything I could. I got my Amazon account back and I got my Facebook account back, which is where I do my advertising for my new business that I launched. So, you just got to keep your head up. Things are going to be tough sometimes. And it's the same with sourcing. You're going to hit home runs and sometimes you're going to strike out. Judy says, help me, please. I'm in Mass. My store not walks well. I don't know what that means. What do you mean by that, Judy? I know there's probably a spell check. Doc says, excellent. I know, I got lucky. Victor says, what do you think between estate sales versus Goodwill sourcing? Well, if you're somebody who has a lot of knowledge, and I'm going to bunch up estate sales with flea markets. I think there's tremendous opportunities at estate sales and flea markets. If you're someone like myself who doesn't have a ton of knowledge with like collectibles, who doesn't have a ton of knowledge with like vintage stuff, glassware, art, different things like that, you see a lot of that stuff at flea markets, then I would say you probably have a better opportunity at thrift stores. But if you're well versed in a lot of the stuff that you're going to see at flea markets and estate sales and vintage stuff and all the types of stuff you see there, then you probably have a way bigger opportunity over there. So for me, I crush it a lot more at thrift stores, but I also crush it at flea markets. I don't go all the time, but I went a couple weeks ago. I think I made $500, $1,000 profit, something like that. I think I did a video about it, but I crushed it because I went after media when nobody else was doing it. So I think you have to go experiment for yourself. What's up, Eric? Looking good. I appreciate you, man. Trying to stay fit, trying to stay healthy. Appreciate all the likes, everybody, as well. I'm literally just sitting in front of the thrift store after striking out and not finding anything. Sandy says, I actually stuck to jeans, shoes, and purses. Wow, very cool that you crushed it at the flea market. Little Miss Muffet says, in my experience, a lot of estate sales bring in appraisers because they legally have to try to sell for probate court. I never do well with estate sales. But here's the thing, Little Miss Muffet. Depending on your situation, like, this is what I've been doing recently, and this will probably translate over to estate sales. If you have a good amount of money that you have saved up and you want your money to work for you, like, I'm happy to spend $100 on a textbook that'll make me $25 profit. So I do a lot of sourcing lately on eBay to sell on Amazon. And some people who have a lot of knowledge in the antiques and collectibles, they'll spend $100 to make 20 or 30 bucks. So for some people, it's not worth it, but for others, it is. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to make 20, 30, 40% ROI at the estate sales and the flea markets, but you have to have that knowledge. It's kind of tough sometimes to look these things up on eBay. Whew, deep breath. Flying here. Arcane Franchi from Florida. What's going on, man? Dave says, by the way, when can I order a Rake and Profit mug? No Rake and Profit mugs right now. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now, guys. Much love to everybody. I appreciate you. And, yeah, hopefully you're doing well. I got some woman staring at me right now. She doesn't know I'm on YouTube Live. Where is she? She's got a cool hat she's wearing right now. She had an Africa shirt on. But hopefully this inspired you. Don't give up. Don't quit, all because thrift stores are treating you poorly. Like I said, be consistent. Find the best times and days. Luck plays a role. Expand your knowledge and your categories and your platforms that you sell. Don't let the negativity blind you, because it will. And if you're negative, you're not going to find the good stuff that the other competitors do. Realize sometimes the competitions beat you to it. Don't let them hold you back. There's plenty to go around. Just like with sneakers, there's tons of brands that are making it. There's a ton of slices of cake that you could come in and take for yourself. So don't let the competition stop you. Look in the backroom access. Peek through the windows for new inventory. Talk to the employees. Build relationships, and make sure that you realize that your time is valuable, and you've got to make sure that you respect your time, and you've got to make sure to spend your time on the highest ROI activities. So if a thrift store looks like it's a disaster, sample it. If it doesn't look good, bounce out to the next one. So with that being said, much love, and see you in the next one. Peace.